not grown up.
You're not grown up? Do you have any intention of ever growing up?
I don't know.
You haven't decided yet?
New CDC data shows rates for boys increased more than 30%. This drug from carbon monoxide and Michelle Carter encouraged him to commit dozens of text messages.
So do you have all the labor you need to hit the numbers next month? And do you scale, where do you scale from there?
It's going well. Mary Angela's here from Seattle. It's still crazy that the two of us became friends through this.
You'll get used to the strobe after a few minutes. So, you know a little bit about my project because you've seen it and we've talked and we're friends. And I took my self-portrait because I wanted to show somebody specifically that I met what 11 years of grief after losing my brother just looked like. And I put it on the internet and it kind of exploded. And all of a sudden my inbox was inundated with people and their stories. I attempted at 17 and then lost my brother. I can see both sides of it, so I feel like this project is working for me because I can talk to both. So I want to talk about the hard day. The timeline doesn't matter to me. Your feelings during the day do.
So let me give you just the week up leading to it. Is March Madness week. Him and his mom would do the brackets and they watched. So but they were like bouncing up and down, they're yelling and screaming, they're having fun, and Kim's going to Ryan, hey, you can never leave, you always have to be here.
She said that to him?
You always have to watch this with me. And he said, Mom, I'm never gonna leave you. So that's how that week was. It was like happy and everybody was having fun. And then Kim and I went away to celebrate her birthday.
Where'd you go?
Puerto Vallarta. We try to get away once a quarter, just the two of us, because we want to make sure we're connected and all that jazz.
Right.
I have my life completely planned out. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. Kids are in great shape. We know what they're going to do. They're going to mess up from time to time, but in general, we've done our jobs. So we had a really nice night. We went back, we were chatting, and I got into bed, and it was 11:03 Pacific time, 12:03 when we were there. And we both got these texts.
From
Ryan.
From him? I didn't know this.
He texted all of us, and he said goodbye.
That's all he said?
Each was an individual text that talked about us, and our relationship with him. Dad, you were an amazing dad. I felt like you were more of a friend than a dad, and it was amazing. We could talk about anything. We'd watch shows every night and a movie every Sunday. You were the best, most chillest dad ever. I'm sorry it had to be this way. Don't blame yourself. You were amazing, and I'm so sorry. Goodbye. It essentially said, Dad, it's not your fault, I love you. And there's nothing you could have done, and I don't buy any of that. But he'd pre-written them all. So they all went out at the same time. And I'm staring at it. And I just, and Kim screams. wasn't here, but this is where he came up to. And it's weird, but you should think that it's right outside my office. It's not about my attic, my office. It's not about that. It's just this is where he knew he could do what he had to do and hopefully not be found fast enough.
Tell me about the note that you found.
I haven't read this in a year. And I'm pretty sure I only read it once. Okay, in 2016, I first experienced true sadness. It was nothing compared to what I feel today. As the year went on, I became more and more depressed. By August 2017, I was thinking about killing myself every day. I turned from a positive person to a negative person. I would wake up thinking about ending it, then put on a fake smile and walk downstairs. In November and December of 2017, my depression grew so much and not my wrist is because I didn't want anybody to see my pain. So these are the knives I gave Ryan. He thought this was a switchblade because he didn't know what a switchblade was. Well, I don't know which ones, but he made a comment that in his letter that the little knife was his favorite. I can only imagine this is a little one. How do I keep them? Because it's still a memory of Ryan. After I found my method, it seemed inevitable. I went back to school in January 2008 with a new attitude. So we had this figured out in 2017. Mom, I had a feeling you will be most upset. You were the best mother I could ever ask for, and I'm sorry I wasn't brave enough to fight through the pain. Dad, over the years, you and I became closer than most kids to their fathers. You were an amazing dad and a great friend. You can't blame yourself for anything. You did what most fathers can't. You became a friend to me. I'm sorry. Royce, you were my best friend. You were the one I talked to most. We hung out the most, and we told each other a lot of things. If only I told you my problems before they got too big. Before I would never have died. A couple of weeks after everything, I was going through his drawers. I don't know what I was looking for. I was looking for something, I guess, but I was hoping I'd find a notebook. I was hoping I'd find something.
Right.
So I open up the drawer, and there's two notes, and one says username and passwords, check my phone, and the other one said tell my story.
So that's what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't view this as this being Ryan's story, and I don't think that's what he meant. What Ryan meant was don't do your best to not let this happen to other kids.
Did you and Kim have a moment there?
Everybody handles grief differently. My wife, Kim, is not ready to participate in what I'm doing.
And there's Ryan, 10 years old and in 5th grade. Come on over, Ryan.
Great to be here, Jay.
Jay?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, grab a seat. What is that?
It's speed walking and then making an X.
And that's supposed to be tagged, so I know I'm tagged if you go like that?
Yeah.
So I've been thinking, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not protective enough. Maybe I don't care enough about my kids. So I devised a new way to make sure that Ryan's much safer at school.
I missed the isolation that Diego was pulling himself back from friends, but I chalked it up to he's a teenager. You know, when you think of a kid that dies by, you don't think of someone that's wanting to go to the gym. He was very involved in high school and the football team. And looking back, I remember he just constantly, he didn't want to go, he wasn't going out with friends. And I'm like, Diego, you're like 16.
He was a popular kid.
I said, you're a popular kid. You're
was.
good looking. You know, as a parent, you're just constantly like we talked about, you know, what did I see? What didn't I see? What could I do different? What didn't I
But he
see?
hit it, right? You didn't see it.
No, yeah, we never saw it.
I didn't think I saw anything until I spent this last year looking back and going, there was stuff I missed because I didn't know what I was looking for. The same thing, he was pulling back from his friends. He just didn't want to go out with people, and he was moodier.
We don't want another family to go through this. If they can learn one little thing, one little nugget, you know, from us, and you know, then I think we've done our job.
I challenged anybody, any parent, any teacher, any school district to come and listen to a talk, but wait till after and see the amount of kids that come up that are in crisis, that need help, are saying, I'm so happy you brought this up because I felt like my parents don't believe me, or I felt like I was alone, or I had no one to talk to. They need to stay and see that.
But that's where my challenge comes in. It's like, it's not talking about creates more.
Right.
When a kid sees feels those thoughts and has no one to go talk to.
Yeah.
Like that's when they feel like there's no one to talk to, as you guys know, this is what happens. What you've been doing and getting that message out to kids, I mean, you've saved kids' lives. I know you have. You've had parents rethink how they parent.
But I hate that because I couldn't save my own. When someone tells me that, I hate that. I just do.
Sorry. Kids should not have to wait for a presentation at school. They should be able to talk about this whenever they need to their teachers and their coaches and their parents and their friends.
Did you see it in him? Talk to me about that sadness.
I mean, he did a really good job at hiding it. There was moments where you question it and you go, how much is that happiness and joy you bring onto others real for yourself? But then again, you're just like, you're the youngest. Like, how can you have any issues? Like everything should be good for you.
So you saw the sadness,
Now that I look back, yes.
right? But you
Yeah.
you didn't really get the gravity of it.
No, I just thought he was strong. And like, I thought that no matter what happens in his life, he is able to move on and grow from it and still make everyone else happy no matter what he faces.
Take me through the day.
I go to bed and I'm about to check my phone one last time before I go to bed, and it's a text message from Ryan. And Ryan doesn't text me often. And I just quickly open it, and it's this paragraph. And I read the first sentence, the last sentence, and
You didn't read the whole thing.
not at first, because I'm
Right.
like, he never texts me paragraphs. It's normally like, hey, how are you?
Right.
Like, are you coming home? Stuff, just simple stuff. So I was like, this is not right. And the first word I read on the text message was, Ashlyn, you were a terrible person to live with and a nightmare. like, because I was a normal teenage girl. I was horrible. I would yell at my parents.
Same,
I made
same girl, same.
living here horrible. And then I just was like, this is not right. And I went to the last word and I said goodbye. And at that moment, I was like, he killed himself.
So you get here. Talk to me about when you walked in the door.
I was not able to drive down the driveway because there were firemen everywhere, police officers, and the roads were blocked. After that, I ended up calling my parents to make sure they knew what was happening. And my dad just told me, no, Ashlyn, he's dead. But I'm like, I'm still not processing what he's saying.
Okay. So then let's talk about when you did see him.
So he was in the hospital. I don't know, it was weird. I just remember seeing his eyes swollen but shut, and just seeing him just look so tiny at the moment. I just don't know why. I just remember seeing him just tinier than what I expected, and just being like, that's a baby. Like how did you come up with that?
How did a baby want to do that?
Yeah.
Did you hold his hand?
Yeah.
I want to get your dad in here. Can we do that?
Yes, of course.
We're going to get dad in the picture. So let me tell you something. We talked after your session, and she said something very interesting to me. She said, I've never heard my dad's side of the story from that day. And I'm interested to know if you heard her story from that day, how that was for you to hear.
I think we both heard bits and pieces of her story, but we never heard the whole story. So I knew bits and pieces, but I never heard the whole thing before.
Hey guys, thank you. You did it.
Yay.
You did it. You did so good.
That's a good one.
That was not bad.
Yeah. She takes really nice shots.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You're actually smiling.
Yeah,
How does that feel?
It's awkward.
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
Yeah. Oh, look, we're both smiling. No, that's awkward.
We never smile.
Not
well, I'm
together.
smiling right now, but like,
Yeah.
mine's unforced. You gotta force yours.
I always thought I was supposed to show you guys the strong image of somebody who had his act together. Mm-hmm. And, you know, somebody that everything will always go okay. So that's what I thought I was supposed to do. So that's what I did.
It's weird. It's honestly weird, like, because growing up, you're such, like, I'm a tough guy, like, I'm the boss, and, like, you do as I say, type of thing. It's like, you don't ever see you cry in any situation, like, ever. Like, unless it's, like, a movie and a dog dies or something, like, of course you're gonna cry, but, like, I've never seen a moment like that, so.
I always wanted you guys just to feel safe. And I thought if you knew that I was always going to take care of things, I was never worried, then you'd feel safe.
Do you see yourself in Ryan in any form?
I think it's more unfortunate that Ryan got that from me.
Yeah.
And so he saw me acting the way I did, and that's how he acted. And if I had shown Ryan that I was not always put together and always had my life together, maybe he would have realized it was okay to not have his life together. But I didn't give him that chance because I showed him who I showed him. I also never took the time, because I didn't think I needed to, is to have the conversation with how are you really feeling about stuff.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't think that was something I needed to worry about.
Yeah.
I regret not having a deeper conversation around it.
Yeah.
I should have. I mean, I should have had a deeper conversation with all of you. I just never thought.
is how a real man fights.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Really quickly, my name is Jess. I am a survivor. We're going to talk about some things. I want to hear about everyone's experience. I think that there are some things that are really important to talk about regarding what are we missing? What are we doing wrong? Is not the number 3 leading cause of death in the nation because we're doing something right. But I think it's important for everyone to share their story. So if we just want to go around the circle really quick, say who you are, and then kind of start talking a little bit about some stories. Does that sound okay? Do you want to start?
Sure. I lost my son a year ago, March.
I am my nephew. I'm a attempt survivor and a loss survivor. And my brother celebrated his 26th birthday on June 4th, and then he took his life on June 26th.
I'm a mental health professional. I hear about things like that every day, but I wrote that the word suicide often felt like a mouthful of tacks. That was just so, I would try to get it out, and it just hurt my mouth.
So my date was July 9th, 2017, and it was after a few years of going to this middle school, public middle school, that I just really like lost at that point where I like felt like something was wrong with me. And after my attempt, it landed me in the hospital for about a week and then in a mental facility for a week. I went to Mexico with my mom. She took away my phone and I went a couple months without it, which was good for my mental health because I feel like that was kind of one of the really important factors. There was a lot of like bullying going on. Like girls in middle school, high school can be mean. Same with boys, same with everyone really. The bullying was out of control when I was in school. I was hazed. I was beat up. I was taped to a telephone pole. Like I was bullied, and that was the reason for my attempt. So now, we didn't have the internet. Yeah. We didn't have cell phones. If you wanted to talk crap about somebody, you wrote a note, you wrote it on a bathroom wall, you spread it between friends, and it took a week. Your information is immediate.
And like at least that stuff, like you had to get creative back then.
Right.
Like, there's a certain art to it.
Exactly.
Now you can just like scroll on Twitter and somebody's just, yeah.
So I was 18 years old. It was my first semester in college. And I always grew up being somebody who struggled a lot with anxiety and depression, just didn't really know it. But I always was also somebody who had my life on track, had everything always planned out. And when I got to college, things just kind of spiraled out of control, being away from my comfort zone with my family and friends and having all these new experiences. And I was deep into a depression hole that I had never been in before, and I didn't know how to get myself out. And so after like not taking care of myself, I kind of had stopped eating, was oversleeping, not going to class. I attempted.
I think you can even miss signs, when you go to,
listen, I remember when Camila started changing, and I noticed, but I listened more to the people around me that were saying, it's normal, it's the hormones, like, you know, she's 13, you just moved from another city, like, what you were expecting.
I think we need to stop like normalizing the moodiness of teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, saying, oh, teenagers, they're supposed to be like that. That's how we see them in the movies, and that's how we see them in media. But I think that's really harmful for parents because then they aren't able to understand, well, is this just the moody teenager or is something more going on?
I felt like I had a parent that was just like, you'll get past it. It's just these years. And I think that's what we do with these teens now is we're like, you guys, it's a phase. You're going to get through it. This depression, it's a phase. Your emotions, it's a phase. This is hormones, which I hear a lot, which I just think is ludicrous.
So like I used to hang out with like lots of kids going through it really bad, home lives, school lives, whatever have you. So like I really took on a lot of their problems, and without even knowing it, I had a lot of problems too. It's like I would take on my friends' problems. I would comfort them all the time, and depressed people, they find each other.
So being a fixer.
Yeah.
Does anyone know about that here? Does anyone know about being a fixer?
Why are you looking at me?
I did a glance around and came back. Does anyone have any experience with consistently trying to fix things, and being a fixer provides stability in some ways?
It gives you control.
Control, okay.
When I was a teen, I didn't have control. I was in a house that I was very controlled, and it was very, very strict. And whether I wore makeup or not was controlled. What I wore was controlled. What I did was controlled. My plans. And so fixing other people's things was control for me. It was great. It was like, oh, I can't control my life, but I can control yours. And I can make sure you're happy because I'm not happy.
Jay.
I fix everything. That's what I do.
What do you mean by that?
People come to me, so I built my companies. People come to me with problems in the company, I fix them. I coach CEOs, they come to me with problems, I fix them. I fix everything, except this.
How does that feel for it to be unfixed?
Shitty. Ryan's the only thing in my life I haven't been able to fix, and I'll never be able to fix. As a dad, it's my job to keep him safe. That's what I'm supposed to do. And I missed it. So I know it's easy to say, hey, you can't look at it that way, but that's how I'm wired. And now all I can do is go, okay, if I can't fix it for me, I'm gonna try to fix it for other people. So the fixing thing, yeah, I'm continually trying to fix that, right? But I can't fix Ryan.
Wow. So this is it. There's a lot of stories, a lot of people. I don't know if you saw you, Ashlyn. There's a lot for me to choose from, but I chose my favorites for sure. And that's Caleb, sweet Caleb, floral designer. He struggled with bullying, lots of sadness. Lots of teenagers in there. Lots of ages, though, generations.
That's so many.
That's so many.
I mean, it's amazing. Amazing what you've done. So your nephew is going to join us here.
I would say out of all of these, I've done a lot of photos. Jackson's photos rocked me the hardest. I went into our session thinking I was going to experience something. I was going to bond with my sister. We were going to talk about the death of my brother. And I didn't expect what happened. I didn't expect to hear about his darkness. I didn't expect to hear about his likeness to my brother and his pain that he experienced behind closed doors. This was my blood, this was my family, and I was thrown off in a good way because I felt like, oh my God, I preach this to everybody. That's what this project is it's a tool to start a conversation, and it started it with my family member, and I just didn't even realize I needed that with him. I'm so happy you're here.
Same here. I'm excited to talk about this stuff.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, you know Jay lost his son. Explain that to you. And we're talking a little bit about how to get into the head of a 14-year-old boy that might be feeling this way. And I know that you had that darkness, and I know that you were into video games, and I know that you kind of had those times where you felt dark and just didn't tell anybody.
For me, it was mostly struggling identity issues and, bullying. I assume it was something similar to your son. You said that he was kind of small and...
Yeah, he's small, and I don't think he had the bullying to the extent that maybe other people have.
Yeah.
I just think he wanted out. He didn't see any hope in being here.
It's a very common theme that I've noticed amongst my schoolgoers. It's hell on somebody just feeling alone. At least when you're being bullied, there's an attention to you. But when you get into that dark place of just quiet, it's really easy to just stay in it. You get complacent, and you find it more easy to just play some games with your one friend instead of talking to people about it because you feel ashamed.
So how many, what does that mean? Like, if you go through your friends and the kids at school, how many kids do you think have these feelings of not measuring up, of not being good enough?
I think it's something with social media nowadays. And I hate to just chalk it up to that, but you have to acknowledge that there's something wrong with it, and it's heavily affecting kids. And if you just use simple logic, you can understand why. Like, Instagram. The entire point of it is to sell yourself and get your opinion of yourself from other people. Of course, kids are gonna be more affected by people's words and feel like they're not living up to standards. Because they're on Instagram and they scroll through the feeds of just hundreds of beautiful people every single day, and they don't realize that it's not really natural. So they build up ideas of what they should be in their head, and they kind of carry that weight with them everywhere they go, including school. So yeah, you can see it in their eyes. You can see it in, I think, most people's eyes nowadays. Like, you can just see something's off.
I didn't realize that any of that stuff was happening.
Yeah.
Any of the video game stuff, any of the darkness.
My family barely knew, like, even the video game stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I kept it mostly a secret from them. Because it was like, I don't know, it came from a place of feeling like I couldn't really be understood, I guess.
Is that where you were?
Yeah, but video games was a great outlet for me. And I'm sure your son got his homework done pretty quick.
No, he always got his homework done quick.
Always got his homework done. So, like, you get home, you don't got homework to do, and I don't know, you don't really have many experiences to draw from creatively. So you sit down and play some video games, and it's a vicious cycle.
So how long would you play for in a night?
Oh, God. No.
You'd go to bed at some point, though.
No, I mean, sometimes, yeah.
So you would play like a school night, and you play all the way through?
Sometimes.
And you just like, it's all of a sudden 7 o'clock in the morning, you're gonna go to school?
Yeah.
So those days that you hadn't slept the night before, those darker days,
It's so hard to talk about my emotions because I am purely emotion driven, and almost all decisions, including the words that are coming out of my mouth right now, they're all just guttural. I'm shaking right now.
Oh, Bear.
I'm sorry, buddy.
And it's fine. There's always still that anxiety for me that's like, I don't know, some big calamity's coming along. I don't know what, but it is. And that's kind of where my brain is now.
I think everything you're saying is very real, very scary. I just hope you're okay.
You're okay, man.
For me, it was like there was just no more hope. There was no more reason to keep going. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. And I didn't know how to get things back on track. I think that was just so difficult for me. So that's when I started having a lot of thoughts when they really came back in. And the one night when I attempted, I just knew that things weren't gonna get any better, and it was just gonna be easier to just take myself out of it. And what kind of snapped me out of it, being so close to the edge, was thinking about the reality of the situation. And I just saw an image in my head about my mom at the church that I grew up in at my funeral. And I couldn't get that image out of my head. And I think really that was the big one that triggered, like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this to her. So I didn't have a whole kind of sit-down conversation about mental health with my church. The answer to a lot of things was just kind of just pray it away, just give it to God and it'll all be all right. And so I remember internalizing that, thinking, okay, if I'm just anxious or depressed, I'll just pray it away and then everything will be okay, and not thinking about having real tools to how to handle that. It's okay to let the walls down and let people who are there for you be able to see what you're going through. And that you need to reach out and advocate for yourself to be able to get the help that you need. Parents being more open about their emotions and their mental health, I think, could have helped as well. So if I was grumpy and I was like, I'm fine, Mom, I don't want to talk to you, and she was saying, I had a stressful day too, I feel, and being able to express whatever that emotion is, maybe that would have been able to get me more comfortable talking about my emotions. And those lines can be open with just asking them about their day and trying to get them to say more than it's fine. Because a lot of times how was your day? It was just fine. It was good, it was okay.
How are we supposed to teach kids that? How does that work? Does that come is that a school thing? Is that a home thing?
I think it's both. Bringing resources like the National Alliance for Mental Illness, they do a lot where they go into schools and talk to kids about emotions and mental health, having things like that brought into schools. I just think it's important on the parents to be shown that at home and to having those conversations at home. I was taught to love God, I was taught to love other people, but not taught so much to love myself. And I think learning to love myself would have helped me, giving myself more grace to be able to admit when I'm having issues. You need to be able to love yourself and to take care of yourself. That is so important. I don't think I ever realized that as a teenager.
So if you asked little Monique if she loved herself?
She'd say no.
And I never asked Ryan.
Yeah.
I told him I loved him. I
Yeah.
told him he was amazing. Told him what I loved about him.
Right.
I don't think I ever asked him if he loved himself.
Yeah. I don't think I was ever asked if I loved myself growing up.
Mary Angela convinced me that I should get a tattoo because I've never had a tattoo. I grew up partially in Quebec. Papi Milky Baby in French is Pitou Saint Bébé.
Oh, okay.
So Ryan really got a kick out of it. That's my son. We used to text each other Pitou Saint Bébé, which meant, for us, it meant I love you.
Yeah.
But no one would know what it meant.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what we used to say to each other. So I wanted to get a tattoo that basically says, Ryan, Pitou Saint Bébé.
Okay.
And then 11:04 is the time I got his text.
The technique that we're using today with putting some of the ashes in the ink is you want to use dark colors. You want to use blacks and purples.
We're
and
using
things
black,
like that.
yeah. What if I flinch like a little girl?
I have a death grip. You're not getting away.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, and actually, in all reality, women are genetically engineered to endure pain. So you would flinch like a little guy. So, that's how it works out, man.
Has anybody ever cried?
Yes. Yes.
Is this the part that hurts?
Yeah, this is the part that hurts the worst. This is the acid peel stuff that we do.
Acid peel?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that hurts. It's interesting. You know, purple was his favorite color.
If you want, we can do it in purple.
Yeah. And I could just leave it like that and not actually use the tattoo part.
No. No, that part's not an
We're
option.
already. So how many people will actually mix ashes into ink?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you.
But it's not a normal process. Like people don't usually
It's
do.
not a super common process, no. All right, so we good to continue on here?
We are. Let's do it.
All right. I've heard a lot of arguments back and forth, and she had this done, and it was.
So my wife actually went out and got some numbing cream. She said you should put this on.
Bitch goo.
And I told Mary Angela, I said, I got this screen Kim told me to put on for the tattoo, and she just laughed. Yeah, pretty cool. It was great, buddy. Thank you.
You are welcome. Glad I could help you out. There you go.
So what was it like to be at that middle school?
Well, like the middle school before, I didn't really like. It's not even like bullying. Like it's just like people like being people. Like they were just like taking like they stopped inviting me to their things. They left me out. So one time they sent me a picture of all of them like sticking their middle fingers up at me. At the time, like I like felt like like my friends were starting to like not like me. And so that fear that I had, like I was paranoid about everything. Like this person didn't comment on my Instagram post and she always does and she didn't like it and I think this person blocked me.
So do you think that It would have been different if you didn't have social media?
Yeah.
How did you got to a point that was very dark.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel? Like, what was going through your head? Do you remember that?
I felt like I was this like super impulsive person, and I was super crazy, and I was super like obsessive about things, and I felt like no one can handle me. Like no one could ever in their right mind like love me like just how I am without holding back, without any like, you know, like no one could ever do that.
If you and I are friends and I come to you and say, and I'm thinking of killing myself, what would you do now?
Make sure you're okay and like talk to you every day. Sometimes I'd give you a hug, because sometimes people just want like hugs and stuff, or someone to talk to. And then, yeah.
That's kind of what you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just someone to love you and hug you.
Yeah.
If you were to go back and give your mom some advice. So your mom's, if you picture this, you're in your room, your mom's standing there, and there's a little you hovering above your mom's head saying, say this.
If you're sad, it's okay to be sad. Like, you'll get through it.
We want our kids to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes now she goes and cries, and she's really literally like, just today I'm just want to be sad, and I am there for her, and I let her be sad.
The whole phone thing.
Mm-hmm.
I gave Ryan a phone
Mm-hmm.
when he was 12.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's healthy for a kid to have a social media accounts when they're 12, 13, 14 years old?
Honestly, no. No, not at all. There's like so many bad things on the internet that I wish I hadn't been exposed to. When you get older, you start getting obsessed with all the likes and like all the comments, especially if you're a girl and you go to high school, like, and you use social media, you know, that's like a big thing. Social media can be very harmful to people also, because if you get in a fight with someone over social media, it's so much easier to say like the wrong things. Like I feel like, because it's like there's a screen, that's just like common sense. Like there's a screen there, so you say whatever you want, like say stuff that you wouldn't say in person normally. I was having people tell me at school that like what I was doing was like for attention. And in my mind, it was like, I would never do that just for attention. Like, I didn't want this to happen. I will, like, prove to you that this is real. Like, I will just kill myself right now. And now you'll know that I was not lying. That, like, you know.
And that's when you decided you were done.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been just, I can't even imagine what it's like to be at that point and go, I'm done.
Yeah.
right? So I made these, giving kids smartphones. And so what I do is I put them on stop signs. And so it says, stop. So it'll stop.
Please welcome from Pleasant Grove, Utah, Colin Karshner.
Woo! Thank you so much. Wow, thank you. Did you know that youth for kids 10 to 17, and since 2011, it has jumped 141% where I live in Utah. Look at this one. Where are we at? In Vegas, 1 year, 90% increase in youth. In Arizona, where I grew up, did you know one school district in 2018, 31 youth, 29 boys? What if maybe this whole experiment called phones, social media, and screens, maybe that has something to do with it a little bit? For example, whenever I go speak at assemblies across the country, I hand out note cards. I say, fill in the blank. One thing my parents don't know about social media is what? You guys filled out some of these. One of my favorite ones, one thing my parents don't know about social media is I search up cheese. That was a good one. I don't know what that was. The majority of the cards that I get from kids your age say this. One thing my parents don't know, social media makes me sad and depressed. It brings me depression. It puts pressure on me to be perfect. Look at this one right here. Social media nearly ended my life. If you're on your phone or a game, YouTube, whatever, 2 hours a day average, just 2. Some of you are like, dude, I'm 2 hours before breakfast. Did you know you just spent a month and a half of that year, every waking second, for a month and a half on that game or on that phone? That's only 2 hour day average. What could you be doing if you had a month and a half every year of more free time? Who's this? Do you know who this is? It's not Sean White. Sean White's little buddy. You know who this is? Yeah, you knew it. Who said it? Dude, awesome. Red Gerard. Red Gerard, guess what he did 2 years ago when he was 15? He won a gold medal snowboarding. And they asked Red, they said, Red, how many hours a day are you on your phone, on YouTube, playing games, just on your phone, checking out? You know what he said? None. He's like, I don't have time for that. Now, everyone do me a favor, take your finger, touch your forehead. Rub it right there, yeah. Right behind where you touched is called the what? Read it. Prefrontal cortex. Who knows what that's in charge of? Kid? Any kid here? Oh, who said it? What is it? Decision making. That's right. Decision making. My people in Silicon Valley can rewire your brain. And here's how we do it. We now know, thanks to science, that our phones, games, social media, every app out there is dumping on our brain something very powerful called dopamine. Now, who knows what dopamine is? That's right, a happy chemical, right? It's the happy drug, right? We now know that our phones pump out a ton of dopamine. Games, social media, it's very addictive on purpose. Did you know neurologists have found that teenage kids need a certain number of hugs every day of the week that last a length of time just to maintain chemical balance in your brain? When you get hugged, guess what it does? It releases oxytocin in your brain. It feels good. It's the cuddle drug. Guess what they found out what it was for teenage kids and younger? How many hugs a day? 43, 20? 8 hugs a day that last 8 seconds long. I'm going to show you all how amazingly long and incredibly awkward 8 seconds can last. So everyone, stand up for a second. Get up. Stand up. Grab a group of people next to you. Grab a couple dudes. Grab your dad. I'm going to count a slow 8 on your marks. Get set. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5, 8. All right, sit down. All right. Thanks so much for coming.
Well, there's just a lack of connection.
That's the thing.
Right? It's like it doesn't exist the same way it did when I grew up, when you grew up. It's like we're not connected as a family. People think they have friends and they have Facebook friends. They don't have friends.
Yeah, they don't realize that these Snapchat friends aren't real friends. And then when crap hits the fan in their life, which it does, they see that no one comes to help them, right? And they're like, wait, I've got 1,000 Instagram friends. They're not friends, they're followers, right? An hour a day, no problems. Kids who are 3 to 5 hours on a screen, 30% increase, anxiety, depression, suicide thoughts. 5 hours a day average, that jumped 71%. That's 5-hour average. You know what the average teen in America is on a screen now, every day? 9.5 to 12. And we're all looking around saying, why are kids dying?
So our program is called Whole Hearts, Minds, and Bodies, and it's nature-based therapeutic mentoring. And our treatment method we call 4 Roots for Growing a Human. What we didn't anticipate is that immediately we would get these referrals of the highest need kids. So kids who had attempts, kids who had psychiatric hospitalizations, kids long-term serious emotional disturbance. And a lot of them have been heavily medicated for a long time. A lot of them are overweight. A lot of them are disconnected from their bodies. And that's a hallmark of early childhood trauma. And a lot of these kids we treat, if you have severe depression, you have sort of disconnected from your sense of self, or you have a weak sense of self. And the way that we observe their embodied confidence growing, correlating with their behavioral improvements, like just the ability to regulate emotionally, the ability to face setbacks and challenges, the ability to have a relationship. All of these things are dovetailing with this neuroscience saying strengthening the sense of self through physical activity is a healing path.
Part of the challenge is kids are not as resilient as they used to be. So they take a hit and they don't know how to take a hit.
Yep.
Ryan was probably in that category. Right? So talk to me about kids and resilience. What are you seeing?
My grandson will turn 5 in July, and I go to the park with him now. And my instinct is to kind of sit down at a picnic table and let him do his thing. And I see like, oh, he's like the only kid who doesn't have a parent hovering over him. And I go over there like, oh, okay, all the other moms are hovering over the kids. If Max and some little girl hit the ladder at the same time to go up the slide, they don't even have a chance to work it out. Like some mom is already refereeing that, or dad, you know, like it's just, and I'm like, you know, when we were kids, our parents were like having cocktails at the picnic table, like they were in earshot if we broke our arm and they could hear a blood-curdling scream. They weren't hanging out with us at the slides or on the swings, right? We were working that out. And I think that that kind of overprotectedness has had a really negative effect. And even the increase in bullying right now, it's like when we were kids and we would just work it out, like we were pretty good at self-organizing to keep the game going. There might have been a kid who was meaner than another kid for a moment, but the kind of group worked through that. And now, in a sense, the kids don't have that skill development of working it out. And then these like wounded, lonely kids become bullies, and the other kids don't have sort of a group experience to even resist bullying. And so it's gotten a lot worse, and it's all from that disconnection. Safety is gained through growing stronger, facing risks. Then you become safer. Your toddler is learning to walk, not because you're holding their hands, it's because they fall down and get up, and they fall down and get up. And adolescents need to fall down and get up, or fail and then try again.
You're just gonna take that.
All right, so I want to welcome you all this evening to the Safe Talk training. As you can see, the SAFE in Safe Talk stands for alertness for everyone. And the purpose of the training is really to get us to feel more confident in our abilities to engage in these critical conversations around the issue of what Safe Talk is all about is the idea of just initiating a conversation with somebody and then knowing what to do if the individual does share that they are having thoughts. An individual that is having thoughts, they usually tell us in different ways. A person who may be having thoughts may be acting in a careless way, or they even break it up as careless to indicate that they may just seem to care less about things in general, right?
I feel like it's especially important to have this kind of education now, the way our society is going, because there's just so much pressure on people now. You have to get straight A's, ace the SAT, get into the colleges, get the perfect job, high-paying salary, get the promotion, get the pay rise, go up, up, up. And dealing with all that pressure is intense, and people don't always know where to turn to deal with that.
That's an issue that especially our youth are encountering and may be an increasing factor in looking at.
I think it's an increasing factor because kids nowadays have access to things that our parents didn't. So for an example, going on Instagram or YouTube and seeing all these celebrities or people who do really well in life, make them think that they need to have it right away. And I think that's where this anxiety is coming from.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's see what they give us here. Feeling alone. We may hear them talk about feeling they don't have a purpose. You may hear them say things like, I don't know why I'm here on this earth. And that was their way of sharing that they were in crisis and struggling. So those are some things that we could hear from an individual that might indicate that they're having thoughts of.
Going through a training like this might mislead some to believe that the signs are easy to see. I know that from my experience, having worked with youth in crisis, that you can ask a student these very direct questions, and they'll tell you they're fine, even though they've already posted on social media that they want to kill themselves. And the student, no, I'm fine. I was just joking around. No, I'm good.
Anybody else have any thoughts?
Sorry, it's like recent, so I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize.
I feel like the most difficult part is actually hearing that answer.
If we are concerned about somebody, then we should feel empowered to ask the question about.
Whether you're afraid of the answer or not, you do need to have the conversation.
Well, I came because I've struggled with tendencies before, and I've had friends who have killed themselves, so I came so I'm like prepared in the case that if they really do need me, then I can give them the help that they need.
Have people been there for you when you were at that point?
When I was going through a tough time, no one heard me, no one understood, and no one tried to help me. So I figured if I don't want anyone else to feel as helpless and alone as I did, so I've been trying to better myself and help my friends along the way.
I spent most of my life
wishing I wasn't alive.
Sometimes people think it's like taboo to talk about their suicidal thoughts.
I think, a lot of people are afraid to talk about because they're afraid it's going to cause more. You talk about it, it's going to cause more. It's not. It's going to cause less. Like now in classrooms, every classroom we have the National Suicide Hotline. We make ourselves available to those students.
Nowadays, everything's broadcasted on phones. We have new expectations on what we're supposed to wear, what type of jewelry or hairstyles.
I think a lot of teenagers, feel like there's so much more expectations on them. Like social media, you put up this perfect front, and you put this perfect front up in public and at school. Now you're having to do it at home too because of social media and things like that.
Because you want to give off this vibe of everything's fine, everything's perfect, and then it's, oh, I need more followers, I need more likes, I need to be more likable for people to think I'm more desirable.
I think I experience things for a reason, and I think that I am here to tell my story for a reason.
Yeah. Home at night, I watch the sun go down, wishing that you were still around. I close my eyes and try to get some sleep. I lie there all night, wishing I could hear you speak. When I see you again, will you know my face? What have you done to fill the space? Will you still be that little boy I remember so well? Does time stand still or do you age? In heaven, see you again, will you know my face? What have you done to fill the space? Still be that little boy I remember so well. Does time stand still or do you age? In heaven.
What? I missed.
This is our crisis line room where we answer all our crisis line calls. We're part of the National Prevention Lifeline. We answer calls in English and Spanish and Korean, and we can do other languages as well. Our calls have quadrupled in the last 10 years.
Last 10 years.
So we have seen a dramatic increase in calls. The highest attempt risk group is teens.
Right.
And it can be a little easier for teens to talk over phone or through chat. We obviously have chat services as well.
How much does that grow?
Then faced a lot. I think between 2013 and 2018, it grew over 500%. So most of our chatters are 25 and under, about 70%. But I will say, when we implemented chat services at our crisis line, I was still surprised. I thought our calls would go down a little bit from teens and young adults and our chats would go up. Our chats went up and our calls went up.
What have you seen in terms of the age of the kids they're calling?
They're getting younger, unfortunately. And our youngest caller to our crisis line has been 8 years old.
Wow.
8 years old. Now, we also know that the rates of has doubled since 2007 between 10 and 14-year-olds. People think kids don't know about suicide. Whenever we go and do a presentation in a high school or a middle school and we are talking about prevention, we ask the kids questions. They know. Our kids know more than us. They're on the internet. They see all kinds of things. They see things on Instagram and in their posts, and they're more savvy and know more about some of this. They mention things that sometimes they're educating us now on some of these things. And so it's important with social media too. And I know this is not always popular to say, but it's important for parents to monitor their social media.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death for youth and adolescents. And so that statistic is just heartbreaking, which tells me that something's changed, because 12 years ago, that was not the case. We're talking to close to 1,000 teens a week.
1,000 teens a week just here.
And we're just one crisis center.
I have 167 crisis centers around the country.
Right.
1,000 teens a week call here. Half of the call volume is kids.
That's right. And that tells us that the struggles that kids have and teens have these days is different than that of any other time. They're hurting. They're overwhelmed. They're struggling. And it's hard because parents want to help, family wants to help, but oftentimes that's not who they reach out to. I think oftentimes we hear that they wish their parents would just listen. Parents, because they care so much, they want to fix. They want to help you get through that situation, but what kids need and what teens need is just someone to sit there and be with them, validate their feelings. Don't try to fix what's going on and just listen.
When you're a dad and you're not taught to show emotions to your kid, then we're not contributing to their emotional development, right? We're teaching them the wrong things. We're teaching them to hold things inside, to repress those feelings, not to share it with anybody. To me, the basic thing is relationships. And I think if people never felt alone, they would never have a chance to kill themselves.
So imagine you have a teenager who doesn't want to talk to you.
Lots of them.
Yeah. You know they're in a bad place. They don't want to talk to you. Why? Because they believe it won't help. So imagine a teenager is saying, leave me alone, I'm fine. And so you let them say that. You pause for 2 seconds and say, yeah, I know you don't want to talk, but 7 words. And they're going to go, they're thinking, I just told you I don't want to talk. What the F? What do you mean 7 words? But they're re-engaging. You say, yeah, 7 words. Hurt, afraid, angry, ashamed, alone, lonely, tired. Pick one. Which is the one that you feel mostly at your absolute worst?
Angry.
Angry.
Hence the broken hand.
Okay, hence the broken hand. Just take me to it. What happened and what triggered the anger? So it'll be okay. I'm not going to leave you there alone. You're feeling it. It's okay.
I was with my brother-in-law. We were up late, and I took everything the wrong way. I got triggered.
Tell me about the wrong way.
I took it as they were saying something bad about Ryan. They weren't saying anything wrong about Ryan. So it's angry and ashamed because no one did anything wrong. I did. And I like to think I have real good control over everything. And I never would have hit anybody, but I slammed my fist on the table. And I'm a physical guy. an Iron Man and a black belt, and I hit that table with everything I had. And I busted that hand. It has...
Go on.
Nothing to do with them. All to do with me. What I love about the 7 words, and I didn't really realize you were going to do that to me, but...
You okay with it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's 7 words that anybody can use. You don't have to be a trained psychiatrist. It's a way to get someone to talk. And when they talk, they just feel better because they talked. As long as you listen and you don't give any judgment or any... I mean, that's where I think parents, where I as a parent would screw up. Not knowing how to do it. You just want to fix stuff. Your kids tell you they're hurting and you just want to fix it. And they don't want to be fixed. They just want to listen.
They want to be felt. I wrote an article called Zuckerberg, Musk, Bezos, Stop Killing Us, Revenge of the Nerds 2.0. And what I talk about is once upon a time, decades ago, patience, tenderness, compassion, even lovemaking, which were all mediated by something called oxytocin, the bonding hormone, led to pleasure, which is mediated by dopamine.
Right.
But while we were all connecting that way, there were a group of techies who just couldn't relate to people. And what happened is they addicted the world to adrenaline. And now adrenaline leads to dopamine. Adrenaline leads to pleasure, but adrenaline is very short-lived, and the world doesn't have patience for oxytocin. But realize that when a kid is overly stressed out and at his or her wit's end, and so they're there, you know, with their feet under the table, because they're just wanting relief, and you're checking boxes, feels like it's serving you while they're looking for relief. And that's why you want to go where they're coming from and stay there a little bit.
And not judge,
not judge.
Not offer a fix.
Right.
I just put the number in the computer. That's the prevention hotline. I didn't find it. He didn't put it under a friend's name. He didn't put it under a fake name. He put it under help. So he deleted all of his history, made sure there was nothing anybody could find, but he left help in there. But there's still part of him that didn't want to die. matter what his letter said. My family's dealing with this their way, I'm dealing with it my way. Their way is probably better than my way. Ryan wanted people to know that just because someone looks happy, just because they seem like everything's all right, they might not be. And you need to check on people. You need to be connected to people. You need to pay attention to your kids. It's Ryan being a voice for all those kids, allowing their story to be told, so that parents will look differently, pay more attention. More than I did. Because it's the only way this can change.
Another blue moon comes tonight to cleanse this town of all of its fright, but it leaves you terrified, knowing that nothing in your life will be this bright. Nothing ever leaves you satisfied in this life that is do or die. You'd rather sit alone and cry than to do something with your life. And I don't want to see a life with you without me. And I don't want to see a life with you without me. And I want you to be so happy. And I don't want to see what you'll be like without me. You sit alone every night, listening to tales from another broken mind. Their soft stories make you cry, knowing that you won't ever be alright. Your mind goes backwards every night, playing the memories that you just want to hide. You can't tell if you're alive. It's hardly living if you always want to die.